you. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. It feels weird to say CPI is tomorrow and it's Friday. Usually NFP is Friday and CPI is Wednesday. Pretty weird. Anyways, how are y'all doing? How'd y'all do yesterday? Normally, so y'all know I normally don't trade today, the day before CPI. Good morning, Will. Hey, Will. Good morning. Greasy. Corey. And Friday the 13th. That's right. Oh, what are you logging me out for, Trade of 8? Don't log me out. Yeah, Friday the 13th as well. CPI. Friday the 13th. What could go wrong? Morning, I am Wally. Hey, Corey. Yeah, so I'm looking. I normally wouldn't trade today, but like I said yesterday, I kind of want to get on. I want to take a look at the framework, just kind of get a quick glimpse, see if there's anything worth trading. And, if there is, maybe I will. But these streams on these days are not going to be as long. If it doesn't show its hand by like 10 a.m., first of all, I got to see the framework. That's first of all, right? Like if I get on here and I don't think there's an opportunity that I like, then I'll just, we'll watch the opening and jump off. If I do see an opportunity, maybe then we'll wait around a little bit. So like today, Thursday, let's go to the weekly chart. We're still inside. I mean, it's just inside last week, right around the midpoint. Not doing much this week. The daily chart yesterday, yeah, we made this high and low, but look, it's pretty indecisive day yesterday. You can see that little body there. We did go up and rebalance this volume imbalance, as I mentioned, but we have not inverted it yet, so we haven't closed above it. And today, we're still inside yesterday's high and low, so haven't really expanded much. And that's, kind of expected. Not much changed on the 4-hour. We just kind of went sideways after yesterday's high and low that was made here. Like, this is all that happened. The 1-hour, same thing. Pretty much. We just made this high and low yesterday and just kind of just slowly grinded up a little higher. Not much. The 15-minute, here's where I'm looking. So this high, this low, that's yesterday's range. And this is us just kind of slowly going up. But if I zoom in a little bit here to this price action, excuse me, what I want to see is like right here, this London session, you see how we ran down and came up here? So this is a bit of an order block, bullish order block here, right? And we kind of did this little action. We had a little buy side liquidity here. This wick took it out. Created some like sell side liquidity in here. Some more buy side liquidity. This wick ran that. And then we ran down again and displaced up. So I'm looking at this as another little, bullish order block here. With this displacement up, left this high. So the reason why I'm a little intrigued today, because what I want to see is, as we're pulling down here, we may just pull into this fair value gap order block and then continue up. So kind of looking at that, if that happens. Also, if we do come down below this, then I have a little bit of sell side. I mean, it's just a single low here. So that's a little bit of sell side liquidity. Then, where we also have that fair value gap back here. If we make it past this low, then I would be curious to see if we have enough to take this low. We have a new day opening gap here. And what I'm looking at is these relative equal lows here at 275. That's about 150 points, right? 150 points down. The day before CPI, I'm not quite expecting it to do that. So, but I am curious to see if we do take this low, then I want to see how far. Like maybe we take this low. We have this fair value gap with this Asia low. We have some targets below. So But you got to be careful because it might not expand that much today. So my preferred would be you pull them back into here. You see a wick below that. And then I would like to see it just come up. But we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Let's check the opening range gap. We have the open up here. We have our close down here. Pretty big opening range gap. 276 up to 346. Not that big. And actually, did we close yesterday? Yeah. I forgot. We did do that. Okay. So we're good on that. So we'll see. That's just kind of what I'm looking at for this morning. And we'll just kind of monitor price action and see, you know, if it's going to be really lethargic and just not do much, or if we're going to try to run some of these areas that I have here. So it's not looking entirely too bad. So we'll see. A pretty big new day opening gap up here. Let's go ahead and throw a midpoint in there. All right. What's up, Chris? Hey, Tony, cream cheese. Good morning. Will is locked and loaded. Let's go. Waffles and coffee. Erlen, good morning. Or good afternoon to you. So, yeah, let's see. Let's see. And, you know, there's days, too, where you'll see it expand. You know, the day before CPI, getting that manipulation ready for, you know, for CPI to come out. And you just don't want to get caught up in that manipulation. And just you have to really have an eye on what the market's trying to do. Because that's typically what's going to happen. And why I normally don't like to trade this day before CPI, before NFP, the day of FOMC. Because it's trying to manipulate. It's trying to get the market to where it wants to be to prep for that release. So, good morning, Benton. So let's see. We rebalanced this 15-minute fair value gap completely. That was, let's see, what time was that gap? That was 8:30. Okay, so that was the unemployment report that came out that caused this run up. So, you know, when it's typically a news gap, I don't hold as much weight to it. So, like, this was 8:30, created by news. Not saying, you know, I still, like, I just take it with a little extra grain of salt because, you know, that volume could just be purely manipulation. we're still working. Let me go to the 15-minute chart here. We're still working that order block. See this order block here? We're in it, but look, if I take the entire order block here, we look at the midpoint of it. Let's see, where's my order block? Thought I had one. Am I missing it? Okay, whatever. Let's just change the color here. So if I take this, here's the midpoint right here. And look where the body is struggling. Like, literally, here's the midpoint on the opening range gap high right here. Came right down to the midpoint of it, and the body is just kind of staying there for now. Obviously, it's wicked, so it could be wicking down into that, you know, through that little sell side liquidity I had right here. And the body's just staying right here. So we'll see. This is gonna be interesting to see if we're gonna push up from here. We very well could. It's kind of what I'm watching. Thanks, Erlen. Yeah, hit that like button for me, please, if you don't mind. I always appreciate the likes. Always, always, always. And if it just stays like this and, you know, wicking up, wicking down, taking highs and lows with wicks and all that, that's seek and destroy characteristics, and that's when I don't want to have a part of anything. So it can definitely happen on today, the day before CPI. You can definitely get seek and destroy, get manipulation. It's danger zone. It's dangerous out here. All right. Might be making our way up. If we come up and take this high, I really think we'll just go on up to previous day high and into that 4-hour fair value gap that I was mentioning yesterday in this area. Not saying I would look to take a trade all the way through that. You know. Still look for my low-hanging fruit. All right, wicked right up into this fair value gap here. We have all this imbalance right here. And if it just keeps doing stuff like this, that's when I'm out. Like, wicked up, that's fine. That's fine if we're going to wick up like this. But that means, are we just going to go ahead and displace lower and go somewhere? Or are we going to come back down, play around here, and just keep doing that? Then that's like characteristics that I don't like of the market. And that's when people get just, that's what I call account killers. They get crushed because, especially, and I'm not talking about just like iced tea guys or anything. I'm just talking about like just traders. You know, people will look for areas of breakout, right? You get like this kinking going on here. Like, oh, whoop, we're going to break out. And then wrong. Or down here. All right, we're going to break out. Wrong. And trust me, I used to trade different way. It was great when it worked, but the days that, looking back, where I'm like, man, that was probably a seek and destroy day, I just get crushed. You just get crushed. So whenever you have days like this too, I know y'all have heard me talk about this, but that's where I start really, like, I want to see stuff on the higher time frames, like the 15-minute chart. Even a little bit on the 5, but the 15-minute chart's my bread and butter. Like, I love it. Because if we start getting chop or whatever on the 15-minute, we don't expand anywhere, we don't get fair value gaps or potential fair value gap, then it's like, All right. These conditions are not favorable for me to trade. And that's why I said yesterday, like I want to kind of jump on these streams on days I don't normally trade to show you, to walk you through why I don't normally trade those days and why sometimes I will, but 70% of the time there's not gonna be anything for me. And actually, it might be higher than that. I just kind of made that number up. So far, just wiki. Wix. The 15-minute isn't looking too bad yet, but it's pretty obvious it's not expanding anywhere. But of course, we're only 12 minutes after the open. Let's see. And I pretty much know fairly early, like, even if there's something that looks like, okay, maybe I can catch something, once we start getting close to 10 a.m., I'll know whether or not, for the most part, if I'm going to call it or not. And if you think about it, the reason why, by 10 a.m., we have 2 candles that will have closed since on the 15-minute chart. And that'll tell me a lot. ES took 0840-ish high. I have no idea where ES is. I have my watch list on my phone that I'll pull up and kind of look at just to see like what everything's doing. And it's mainly just, MNQ or NQ, YMES, CL, gold, GC, silver, copper. Just so I see where they are. So I know the price. Yeah, it looks like ES is at 69.85.86. But I don't look at it to lead me anywhere. Okay. Let us see. What are we doing here? Okay. We hit the midpoint of the opening range gap now. Here's my, what did I say earlier? 275 is where I could see it ultimately going. Not sure it'll expand that far today, but that's where I could see it ultimately going. Oh, gotcha, Benton. Yeah, cream cheese. I mean, it's. I don't know. I don't know because, like I say, like that's why I gave that high percentage of time that I don't trade these days, because most of the time that I've seen, anyways, it doesn't do too much, expand too much. But then there are those times where it's like, okay, this thing is like running. It's really going somewhere to set up for that release. So I don't really know what the correlation is but that's just kind of why I've always opted out of just trading it. But yeah, so we've got this move down here. Traded straight through this little 15-minute fair value gap. Let's get rid of that one. All right, and then, you know, hey, if we just run straight through everything, just like yesterday, then might not be anything for me. Obviously, I don't expect it just to run straight through this 240 to 260. I don't expect it just to go straight through it. We're close enough now that I definitely think this 275 is in play. With the midpoint of yesterday's range, we ran down into today's new day opening gap here. A nice, decent little new day opening gap. We might get another little fair value gap here, but I'd be a little cautious of this one. I'm always cautious of the lowest fair value gap because it could pull back up into this higher one. Obviously, we know that's not always the case, but it could. So I like to look at the move, the leg here, and see what's around the halfway point or above. So this fair value gap right here would be my preferred entry if I did look to short. Bouncing right off of this previous day midpoint there. Went right up into that fair value gap. Even then, that's probably too big of a stop for me if I wanted to even trade that one. I don't think I would, though. My entry would be right here around 71.50. It'd be about 30-point stop for me. I just don't like that little fair value gap. And I think we'll get right into this area and bounce back up. I don't see us just trading straight through this. I mean, it's possible. But what I would prefer is if we displaced through it, and then I could just take a trade to this 275 that I have. I really don't like these little bitty fair value gaps like that. Especially after we had this move down like this. Like we moved down 368 right down to, 100 points, right? And just a little pullback. Don't love it. As you can see on the 15-minute chart, this is what I'm talking about. Like, we have this potential 15-minute fair value gap right here that'll happen in the next 10 minutes. So that's good. Just got to be careful of it pulling back. You know, hesitating in this area right here, pulling back a little further. But I definitely think, doesn't have to happen, but I think this 275 is in play. We do have housing news at 10 a.m., I believe, as well. It's low impact. And you see, at this time, it did go into that little fair value gap there and continue. So, like, it can happen. I don't like these little ones here like that. Just like I said, we had a 100-point move down. and it just pulled back just to that little one. I don't trust it enough. This low is 304. This high is 299.75. Yeah, that's 4 points. A little 4-point fair value gap there. I do like that we traded all the way through this fair value gap, this 15-minute one. I do like that. So we basically rebalanced it, even though it's not an inversion. We traded through it. So now if we pull back up or displace lower through through this low, then I potentially be looking for a short to that 275. So let's see. And at the same time, that's why now at this point, I'll be looking for displacement lower through here for a short, or I want to see if it makes its way back up to this one, then look for an entry off of that one short. However, if it makes its way back to this one and inverts it, then then my short bias will be gone. So that's just kind of what I'm looking at for the morning. So basically, like in a nutshell, to keep it very simple, of what I pretty much do every morning is through that framework, I'm just kind of framing out potential areas the market could go and looking at key areas of where it would need to stay above or below to get to that area, either above or below. And if it goes above or below those key areas, then it's like, okay, it's likely to go and hit that target above that I had or that target below that I had. And just to try to keep it simple, like that's all I'm really looking at in simple terms. And if it happens, so like if I have a key area here and I'm like, it's going to go to this target if it can go above this key area, then once it goes above that key area, I just look for an entry and see if it goes to that target and manage my risk. And that's it. That's literally it. That's all I look for every single day. And, it's paid well so far. Took many years to get to this conclusion. But, I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to figure a simple way to not complicate something that you are able to easily complicate, if that makes sense. Like iced tea concepts are so great. There are so many different things that you can do that you can overcomplicate it so much. And anybody that I've ever seen be actually successful, they simplify it. They just look for something, right? Something that they can identify. And Ice-T says this himself. Look for whatever you can see. That's your model. Like whatever you're most comfortable with. That's your model. That's what you trade. Forget about everything else. So, yeah, it's kind of what I've done here. Hope that makes sense for y'all. All right, look how I just love the precision sometimes. Look how it came right back up and tapped that sell side liquidity that I had. We're accumulating underneath it for now. Obviously, when you have a higher time frame imbalance, it's going to typically act like a little bit of a roadblock. And I like to say it's turbulence, right? So if we're heading down, this is just turbulence. It's turbulence. So you can't just think, for one, that it'll go straight through. And for two, that's how I but that's how I sometimes anticipate this getting traded through. Sometimes there's higher time frame fair value gaps that I have, or I'm looking at it, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to mark it, but I think it's going to get traded through if I have a target stronger on the other side of it. So that's why I wasn't very confident in this one, because even if I took a trade, like the entry was down here somewhere, I have a roadblock right here. I'd rather wait until it rebalances, does what it needs to do, and then come down. Then I can get in. Then I can go with a low resistance trade. However, I'll also wait to confirm and make sure it doesn't want to pull back up to all, this up here that's left untouched. Ooh, my God. I hate when I accidentally press a key on my keyboard. Scares me. like I know for trading view, the hotkeys for order entry is not as like, because on my Ninja Trader, I used to, when I was just trading off Ninja Trader, I used to have my order entry just simple. It was like F8 or something, F8 short, F9 long, a simple entry, and I used to always be nervous. But I think, let's see, let me hover, not click anything. Yeah, Shift B and Shift S is the hotkeys for trading view. So if I want to go short, Shift S. I just don't want to get in the habit of hotkeys. I mean, maybe that's not a bad thing, but I just get nervous. But at least the hotkeys for trading view here is 2 buttons. It's not, I can't just accidentally press 1 button. All right, I'm looking at, see, this is what I'm talking about. Now I'm looking at this potential fair value gap right here. It's showing me the willingness to trade through this 15-minute fair value gap and potentially displace lower. And that'll be comfortable because I do have this 275 as a pretty good, in my opinion, sell-side liquidity pool. I think we have some nice sell-side liquidity there. However, I may or may not get an entry to it, so we'll see. And if we take this sell-side liquidity, I'm probably done. Like, if we go through it, because I don't have any other strong enough targets. I mean, there are some, but I don't have anything strong enough for me to say, you know what, I'm risking it today. A previous day low down there. Yeah. Like, dang, doesn't look like I'm gonna get one. I think we're gonna go straight through it. I would love for it to stop here and pull back. Then I would have relative equal lows here and at this sell side liquidity. See if we get this fair value gap right here. Got the fair value gap. See if we get a pullback. I think it's just going to go. Even here, this 229, maybe 30 points. I'd probably look for the overshoot into like 180 if I do get an entry. Doesn't look like I'm going to get an entry, though. What time is it? 9:58. Well, if it... nah, it's probably going to take it before 1 minute. I was going to say, if it doesn't take this low, then maybe at 10 a.m. it'll pull back into this fair value gap and then go. I don't think it's going to hold off, though. We're too close. Yeah, we're going to go through it. Man, I got... Excuse me. Well, there we go. No entry. I'm okay with that. The only entry that was possible, in my opinion, would have been this little one. I just don't... I already went over all the reasons why I didn't like that, so it's all good. Any lower, I mean, we have all these areas, but they're not strong targets for me. Midpoint of last week's range. We do have a little sell side. Let me look at some higher time frames here. Yesterday's low. Yeah. I don't have anything that I'm loving. I got it. And as y'all know, I got to have a target. Like, I have to have a target, like a strong target. I can't just, this pulls back here. Let me hop in and see if I can ride the short, into oblivion. Say, oh, well, it's probably going to take previous day low. It's probably going to go probably. Like, I don't like probablys. I like having a sure target. And that's why I like talking about being a sniper, right? A sniper, a real sniper, has to have a target. One shot, one kill, right? If you're throwing a grenade, you can have the probablys. There's probably people around there. Let me chunk this. It's probably going to hit previous day low. Let me just hop in and go short and see what happens. I don't operate that way. So yeah. Because of that, that's it for me. That's it. I'm not going to trade. I'm not going to trade. I'm not going to look for a trade. Sure, it could reverse and go up, but it did what I was expecting on one direction, right? Like if this then that type trading, where that's kind of how I do it, right? Like that's what I do. I do a lot of this, if this then that. If it does this, then I'm looking at that. So it did that. So that's it. That's it for me. I don't have anything else. And that's what I mean. Look, see, it's 10:02. That's what I was saying. Like by around 10 a.m., I should have on these days, a day like this, I should have that idea of, is it gonna do what I was thinking? Am I gonna get a trade? That's why I was mentioning like these streams are shorter on these days, because like for example, if it never did all this, I would know already if it's going to do something. And then unfortunately today it just went without me. So thanks. Yeah, I mean that is how I overcame, if I had to say anything at all, how I overcame my bad discipline and tilting and spiraling problems. Limiting my trades and also looking at the marketplace, trying to anticipate something, and then just react, right? Like anticipate, react, or not react. And if it's not there, like I have a plan. If it gets to where I think that it should go without me, that sucks. But it happens, and I just don't take a trade. If I get an opportunity to try to go on the ride, great. I get in. And if it wins, great. If it loses, hey, that's why I don't take many more trades, because, like, for example, let's say I would have taken a short somewhere in here, just random, right? And I was like, yeah, I think we're definitely going here. And it just comes down, and it doesn't. And I lose, and it displaces and goes up. And I was just wrong. Well, what is there for me? Am I just because it reversed and left a fair value gap, like, and went long, that I just hop in long? No. Because what if that happens, you go long, and then it comes back down? Like, I'm not just going to flip it. Now, if I have an obvious reason to go long, that I'm like, okay, I was wrong. It definitely is going to go long. I see why now. Okay, maybe. Like, there's times you can do it, right? But a lot of times there's not. A lot of times if I'm wrong, like I'm just like way wrong, I realize it. And I'm like, you know what? Man, that got me. The market got me today. I'm not going to, why would I take another trade if I was clearly wrong? Like, why do I want to risk it and take another trade? To me, it just doesn't make sense. Exactly. Saving capital for the correct trades. That's a good statement right there. Saving your capital for the correct trades. So, yeah. Yep. So, hey, I hope today served its purpose of why I jumped on the stream. So my day's over with now, and but I will be back tomorrow. So if y'all are gonna trade, keep trading. Just be careful, look for the manipulation, and have patience. Right? So, but I'm hopping off. I'm shutting down my charts, and I'm not touching anything. All right, y'all. So have a great day, and as always, trade well. I'll see y'all tomorrow.